That's My Word Podcast, an Umbrella Entertainment Productions, with your host, Uncle Will. Join us while we deal with a variety of life topics. So, without further ado, that's my word. Hey, what's up, everyone? Uncle Will here. I want to first say thank you guys for tuning in into this week's episode of That's My Word Podcast. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and click that link, the alert button, so that way it'll let you know when I upload new content to the channel. So let's go ahead and move on to the show. So this week's episode is a very interesting episode, okay? So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you out there that has experienced, and I'm not saying I hope that a lot of you have, but, you know, they have experienced deadbeat dads, right? Whether you have one of your own, whether, you have kids with one, I'm pretty sure a lot of you, understand where I'm coming from with this. Now, the title of the show, however, deals with the entitlement of those deadbeat dads. So the title of this show is called Demanding Deadbeats. And where this comes from is when they get old, they need you. They feel like they can call you all the time and have you to be at their beck and call. That's what this whole show is all about, right? So I have a total of 6 siblings. I'm the eldest of those 6, and the 2 up under me, Gladys and Erica, we had to experience a lot growing up, okay? And so we spent a lot of our time as kids going back and forth between Chicago and Detroit. My mom's side of the family is in Chicago, and my dad's side over here in Detroit. So with that, whenever they failed out or they separated, we were always sent back to Chicago when my dad screwed up on some shit, right? Because that's what he was. He was a screw up when he was younger. So with that, a lot of times we went without, okay? And so when you were a child or whatever, and you depend upon your parents to provide you with the necessities being shelter, food, water, clothing, right? And so when you're dealing with a deadbeat, of course, he's not helping to provide his share of those necessities. So a lot of the stuff always fell back on my mom's. My mom, she was a young parent, okay? And let me just say this. Great job. She did a great job with us. She did the best she can do and work with what she had. And let me tell you, a lot of times, and my sister Gladys, they'll tell you, a lot of times we didn't even know that we were like poor, you know what I'm saying, until we got older and we started realizing some things. But anyway, and that isn't a testament to the great job that she did. So looking back at it, a lot of times Dad was not there, okay? So he was in Detroit living his best life while we were in Chicago living what life we had. So deadbeats, they tend not to make themselves aware of the struggles that their children are going through. And a lot of times they don't care. So let's just put that out there. And I'm saying that based upon my experience. I can't speak for you or anyone else, but I can speak for me. A lot of times they just don't care. So my father was young, hoish, doing his thing. So with that, as we're growing up south side of Chicago, he's not aware of the struggles that we're going through. And a lot of times my moms didn't tell him. He convinced her not to put him on child support. He went so far to convince her to, when they did finally decide to move on and get a divorce, he convinced her to say on a divorce decree that he didn't even have any children, that they didn't have children together. And that was because of the love that she had for him. Like I said, she was young. She was a young mother. And she still had love for him. But his love for her wasn't as strong as the love that she had for him, and he exploited that, right? And so that's what a lot of deadbeats do. A lot of deadbeats are narcissistic. You know, they think of themselves and what ways they can benefit out of a situation, and a lot of that is also how they can keep their money. They don't mind laying down, having a kid, but they don't want to pitch in and do what it is they're supposed to do as a father. So moving forward, growing up south side of Chicago as a kid, it was rough. We had rough moments, especially when my mother started dealing with this dude by the name of Larry Brown. He was a motherfucker. That's the only way I could put it. He was abusive, not only to my mother but to her children. You know, I used to always have to run his bath water, clean the tub behind him. I'm like 11 years old, going out 10 o'clock at night to restaurants, picking up food for him. If I didn't do what he thought that I was supposed to have done, get severely punished. Me and my sister Gladys, we used to take the grunt of it. My sister Erica, she was the baby girl at the time before my other sister came along. So I don't recall her getting as much abuse that me and my sister Gladys did. Um, and so my sister Gladys, let me say this too. I don't know it's because she's a Gemini, but Gladys was crazy, okay? And he used to call her Mean Dean because her facial expressions and how she would act, Gladys was a monster. So I love my sister. I love her. I love her dearly. And so moving forward on this is that so we were we were pretty much his slaves, okay? Um, a lot of times you remember parents, because back then they had no remote controls. This the mid '80s, early mid '80s. So I could be all the way in another room. I'm being called, and I have to run to see what he's saying. While you laying on the couch, turn the TV, and I'm just looking like, what the, you know, fix the antenna on the TV. He's laying like 4 or 5 feet away from the damn TV on the couch, but I had to be the servant to come and turn the TV for him. Go get him water, run my bath water, like I said, wash the tub behind him. These are the things that we had to endure, and so it like I said, also he was an addict, and so he used to steal our Christmas toys, uh, school clothes, food stamps, because we were on welfare, and back then they had food stamp booklets. So he used to steal food off the table, literally. It was times where we went without food at night, and we didn't we didn't have milk or food in the refrigerator because of the actions of this dude that's supposed to be the man of the house. He was a, a junkie, and so um, I recall him trying to teach me a lesson in regards to never using drugs. So he actually had me to sit in with him while he prepped up his heroin. So he put it on the mirror, burned lit it up, let it dry out on the mirror, take the razor blade, you know, then put it into the spoon. Then he took the lighter and just, after that he had me to hand him the little rubber tube. I had to give him the tube, and as he tied it, he's called himself being a father figure, I guess, at this point. See, this is something that you don't want to do. You don't want to be like me on this. And then as he inject the vein, you see the eyes rolling up into his head as he's falling back, enjoying this hit. Now I'm like 10, 11 years of age at this time, right? Witnessing this. So, other instances, he told me that he was going to chastise me on one time because he thought that I didn't say bye to one of his family members that came over to the house. Now, I pleaded with him. I told him I did say bye. They even told him, no, Larry, he did say bye. No, when I see you when I get back, I'm going to chastise you. So when he got back home, now keep in mind, this is what I'm dealing with as a kid because my father isn't there, right? When he get back home, he pulled me to the room because a lot of times my mother wasn't aware of certain things that he was doing, you know. So he got away with a lot of stuff. So as we in the room, he telling me, I told you when I get back home, I'm gonna chastise you, right? And then he just started drilling me in my chest. Now keep in mind, I'm like 11 years of age. This 30-something-year-old man is just punching this kid. I'm not crying at this time in the beginning because I'm more in shock of what's being done to me, right? I told you I was going to chastise you when I get back home. As I'm thinking about it, it's kind of making me emotional. So I'm not going to say my total childhood was uh, messed up because I had some great cousins in Chicago that I was able to grow up with, like my cousin Tina, my cousin Joanne. They were a couple years older, and then John. He was my favorite cousin. We used to roam all over the South Side of Chicago, playing football and challenging other kids in different areas. So I used to love those moments getting out the house, but because he knew I loved those moments, he used to take it from me so much, punish us for the smallest things. And it could be the last day of school, last week of school, and he want to punish you and tell you got to stay in the house the whole fucking summer for leaving a dish in the damn sink, or you didn't take the garbage out on time. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. He was extreme with it, and so I used to find myself like wishing, man, I wish my dad was here. I wish my dad was here to beat him up. I wish my dad would be here to do this. But my dad wasn't there because he wasn't aware of what we were going through. He was living his life as a deadbeat ass, right? So he's in Chicago. And keep in mind, too, uh, when, when you're a deadbeat, they're not thinking about the struggles that their children are going through. They're just thinking about the life that they're living, that they're in, not what the life that your child is in. You knew that I was in the projects. You knew my mother didn't have money. You knew that my mother was, you know, working with the best she could work with, and you wasn't sending her nothing. So we're not knowing what our father's doing. And when he do call, he called probably on your birthday. Now, my father had this habit of always being a year or two off. I could turn 11. I'm sorry, I could turn 12. He'll call me and say, so how does it feel to be 13, be a teenager now? No, Dad, I'm 12. Following year. So how do it feel to be 15? I'm 14. I'm 14. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying he will always be off whenever he called me for my birthdays. Now, he got married this one year. He got married to a beautiful woman by the name of Anne. Now, let me tell you, God rest her soul. Beautiful. She was a mother to me and my sisters. Matter of fact, she was a better parent to me than my dad. Okay? I loved me some Ann, and I still do. I have some fond memories of her. We didn't know that he had got married. We didn't find out until probably about 2, 3 years later that they were married. Because he didn't want to send for us. He didn't want to spend no money, not even to buy a damn Greyhound bus ticket, to send for us to come and be there to watch him get remarried. My mother didn't even know. Now, keep in mind, he convinced her to sign paperwork, the divorce papers, and acknowledge that they had no children together secretly, just so he can be able to move forward and make whatever moves that he had to make. So he's there taking her kids, Latrice, which I love dearly too, my stepsister. No, taking them to Walt Disney World, Cedar Point, doing different things such as that. While we over in Ida B. Wells, struggling. So as I get older, move back to Detroit. My mom's wound up relocating us back to Detroit because we had to get away from this abusive man. My sister took a bus ticket that my dad had sent me for the summer to be able to come down there and stay the summer with him in '86. But again, because I wound up getting on punishment with Larry Brown, I wasn't allowed to go to Detroit to spend the summer. So Gladys has had enough of it. She wound up, um, it was fall time, it was during school. She wound up taking the bus ticket, sneaking out, acting as she was going to school, and caught that bus and ran away and relocated to Detroit and moved with my father. That right there hurted my mother so deeply that it sparked her to say, I got to get my children away from this man. So one day, because this is a time when he finally had a job that he didn't quit at this time. He went to work. We packed everything up that we had and bounced. That was one of the happiest moments of my life. And what made it even more superb for me is that my dad and my Uncle Robert and Ann, they came and helped us covertly, packed everything up real quick in a U-Haul, and we left and relocated here in Detroit. So we're here. I'm thinking life is about to be grand now. I'm by my dad. I'm by my other family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I didn't miss my cousins, Tina, Joanne, and John, and Quincy, and all them. Oh, I missed them. But I did not miss that abuse. You know what I'm saying? I didn't miss that. So I got to start up a new life. My dad is in my life now, baby. But we get here, same old shit. See, my dad is a selfish man. Okay? And that goes back to what I'm saying about a narcissist, right? So I get here and I try to push myself on him to show him that I love him. I'm here. Can we do this? Can we do? He was still, as a 40-something-year-old man, out there being a hoe, cheating on my stepmoms. He was still out there doing the things that he did even when I was a younger kid, thinking of himself. Here's an incident. So I decided I was done with it. I joined the military, went away, because I knew I needed something better in my life. I couldn't keep dealing with what I'm dealing with in the city. So I went away, did my tour, came back. I'm in a better place now, right? Got a kid, so I'm ready to be a dad. He sees I'm in a better place. He said, "Hey, let's form a business together," because he knew I had a good business mind for things. So the company that we formed, we dealt with putting on concert promotions for local gospel acts. So, and I'm doing most of the work, may I add, all because I'm just happy I'm with my dad. Tax season come, we owe money. So I come to him, I show him, hey, look, man, I need $500 because this is what we owe. You want to take care of that? I don't got no money. I'm like, this is part of your business too, right? The little money that we did make, you got some of that money. So you supposed to help pay on these bills. I don't got it. So I got stuck with the bill. And that reminded me, all this shit started flashing back. How he just left me in the cold, right? How he let us suffer, struggle. It just flashed back. And I said, you know what, Dad? I got you. I'm good. I'm good. You and I, we would never do business again. And he laughed. Like, what? I just don't have no money right now. But he laughed at me. And that hurted me. Again, I keep in mind, these are all the different instances of the deadbeat, right? Still in play. So, years later, I have my own place. Him and my stepmoms, they separated. He needed a place to go. He come to me, hey, can I move in with you? I'm thinking this right here give us a chance to, get closer again, and you know what I'm saying, and we can just, build a relationship, son. So you know what, Dad? Cool. Come on, man. You can move in with me. Now, you would think, because at this point, he's about the age that I'm at right now. Okay, I'm 52. My dad was in his 50s. So you think by this time there's some form of growth. Okay, he's a deacon in the church, studying to be a minister. And as you know, even ministers and deacons can be hoes. But he's doing all this. So he moved in with me. I don't think it was even a couple weeks later. He started bringing this female over to the house. Now, I'm recognizing something's kind of off with her. So as I'm asking questions to other people, I'm coming to find out that she's a drug user. I mean, and I ain't trying to talk about nobody, but I mean, she's a junkie, okay? And someone that I would never have thought my father would have been with. Go even further, she's related to someone in the church, so she comes to the same church that he sits in the front of the pews with, as the head deacon. My stepmom is the evangelist over at the church. She's sitting behind them. You got this woman, you sitting in this church, all these people looking at you like you a damn fool, and you disrespecting your wife. Because at the time, she's still his wife, okay? Again, the narcissism, right? You fooling with a woman in your church that nowhere near can compare or amount to what you have that you left. So now I'm thinking, like, did you move with me so you could pull these stunts? So I had to check him, because it got to the point where she got so damn comfortable that she was walking around my home with just a t-shirt on, no panties, no bra. I'm like, look, Dad, you need to talk to your woman. Because at the time, I wasn't married to my wife. We're married now, but we were just dating at that time. So I'm like, look, man, I got a woman, even though she wasn't there. But I'm like, look, your girl don't need to be walking around here. You need to deal with this. So it got so bad that I just had to set him down and tell him, look, I want you gone. Okay? I need you out of my house. I'm going to give you a couple of weeks. You got to go. And I let him know how I felt about how he did. And that moment, I lost all respect. In that moment in time, whatever little respect I had left for my pops, I lost it. Because I was still seeing the selfishness. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about yourself. No matter how I tried to continue to build a relationship with you, a relationship that you were not owed, You kept letting me down. My sister Erica, she's like I said, she was the youngest at the time. Well, my mom's had 3 other kids afterwards, but I'm just saying, my sister Erica, she don't deal with him. The only time that she will reach out to him is if he's sick or in the hospital, but she does not deal with him because she said that he was such a deadbeat and that he did us wrong and she can't forgive him for it. So as we move forward, like I say, he's at 75, 76. His health has went bad. He remarried again. She left him. Because, see, my father had this habit of requiring or relying on women to take care of him. Okay? So, this wife right here, she got tired of it. He didn't want to clean. He didn't want to do nothing but be himself, which is a user. And so me and my father, we had this talk. Because like I said, now his health is bad, right? So we had this talk, and I had to tell him, I'm not one of them women out there that used to take care of you. My job isn't to take care of you. And he gets mad when I say that, but I have to let him know, I'm not here to take care of you, okay? I'm not here to go pick up your clothes, take you shopping, and buy your food. I gotta buy you this. I had to shut him down a lot. I needed him to understand that you need to be independent, dude. And I had to tell him, you know I don't owe you nothing, right? He told me that I'm your father. And kids are supposed to look out for their fathers when they get older. Well, he said that your father and your mother. And so I said, well, you know what? You're right in regards to that, but that's if you earned it. And he looked at me kind of weird, like, right? And so I told him, I said, you do know that you wasn't a good father, right? I said, that's why Erica feel the way she feel about you, because you was not a good father. Okay? Now I said, my mom's stay in Tennessee. And I told him, I would give her anything before I give you anything. She could call me today and say, I need you. I would be on the road, depending on the severity of it, or I catch a flight to Tennessee for my mom's. You need money? I got you. Period. That's it. His thing was, why do you feel this way? I say, Dad, you was a deadbeat dad. You was not a good father. You wasn't there. His philosophy is, based upon his upbringing, when a man is with a woman, that is his responsibility to take care of them kids. So what he was saying is, it was Larry Brown or any other man that was with my mom's responsibility to take care of us. That he didn't have to do anything anymore, but only on birthdays or Christmas, even though he ain't do shit then. But that was his argument. And I'm like, where did you get this from? He said, that's how I was raised. That's what we was taught. I said, Dad, you still got responsibilities to your own kids, man. You can't put your responsibilities off on another man. That's not how that works. And I said, that's why your daughter, Erica, don't want nothing to do with you. Now, Gladys, me and Gladys are the only ones that, even though Gladys is in a whole other state, she's in Georgia, when she come in town, she's there for him. But primarily, it's me. That's who primarily is there for him. Because he done burned so many bridges with family members that he don't really have anyone. So he's sitting in his apartment all day, vision gone, can't hardly see. Now, some people probably believe in karma. I know he does. And he says to me, this is why he's going through what he's going through. He was so used to being able to get up and go, drive here and go take care of this business, do this, do this. Now he's stuck. No one calls him really, but his siblings, they call and check on him every now and then, pick him up for church. He have grandkids. My dad has, I want to say, over 20-something grandchildren. No, let me take that back. My dad has about 14, 15 grandchildren. Grown, a lot of them grown. Here in the same state, the same city with them. They don't deal with them. They don't call them. They don't take them food. They don't take them shopping. They don't do one thing for him. And that's because them same traits he had with his kids, he did with his grandchildren. He didn't even try to have a relationship with his grandchildren. So now you're older and you're reaping what you sown. So my thing is, if you're a deadbeat, why do you think that you're entitled? Why do you try to make demands about someone doing something for you when you didn't do nothing for your own kids when they needed you? And if you are a current deadbeat, you're young. I hope that while you're looking at this, you sit back and you think, because your kids, they need you. And as the world turns, you're going to need. Think about that. Are you the kind of father or mother, because mothers can be deadbeat, but that's a whole nother story. Are you that kind of father that you don't even know for sure that your kids will be there for you when you're in need? If you're in doubt, you probably need to change your ways, buddy. Because I can tell you now, all my children, nail one of them, the 6 I have, they can never say I wasn't shit. He ain't do nothing for me. Because if they did, they're a damn lie. I was there, karate practice, first day of school, last day of school when you graduated from high school. For those of you who graduated from college, I was there for that. Boot camp, I was there for boot camp. My dad didn't even write me a letter when I went to the Navy. He didn't come to my graduation from boot camp. Okay? I made sure everything that my dad didn't do, I did it. So I can honestly say, I know my children are going to be here for me because they love me. Even my nieces and nephews, they told me, I'm going to be there for you. They told me I was a good man. And see, that says a lot about a person when not only your children, but your nieces and nephews recognize you for being a quality man. Because I was there for them too. I got some nieces. Their father wasn't there because he passed away. But I picked up the load and I was there to help them out on things too. So if you're a deadbeat and you know you are, please, if you got the time, man, change your damn ways. Because you can't demand anything out of no one. No one. If you didn't put the work in. Now my father, like I said, we have a great relationship. But I had to let him know, and sometimes I still gotta remind him, I don't owe you nothing. Anything I do for you is because I want to, because of the kind of man that I am. Not because I'm obligated. And so I hope that you take from this show a lot. And I would like for us to have some dialogue. If you have any comments, please share them with me or whatever. If you're going through something or you went through something like this, or you got kids that you got by Deadbeat. Let's have a dialogue. Please comment, chime in. And like I said, I just want to thank you guys for tuning into the show. And don't forget, subscribe. Um, Hopefully, this will help you to be able to communicate with others and bridge a gap with your children. And for those of you adults who have that deadbeat dad and he's still around, don't be afraid to talk to him. Let him know how you felt. Because let me tell you, it felt good for me to tell him what he done to me and how it made me feel you not being there for me. He apologized, and I can honestly say that now. My dad did apologize to me for not being there for me, for me and my sisters. I accept his apology for me, but I told him with Erica and with Gladys, you deal with them up on that. But I didn't move past it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say I moved past it because I still have my moments where I think about it, especially when he started running off at the damn mouth. But for the most part, like I told him, I learned from you how to be a good man by learning what not to do, like you. So with that, thanks again for watching the show. Stay tuned for next episode that's coming out. I'm Uncle Will. Peace.